the end of the road for Luz Marie. But oh my goodness, no, my words haven't even been called. We called it, and look at that, Valentina Diaz just snuck back in from fourth position as the scores dropped right on the buzzer, ladies and gentlemen. So we did not have this information, and another upset, but good on Valentina Diaz for making it back from the fourth position and trailing for quite some time, and she just literally took it on the buzzer.
So last second effort for Valentina Diaz, waiting for that last wave score to come up, and she jumps into from fourth position into second position and knocking out Maria Guta Borges from that second place position. So advancing is Madalena Valerio on a strong performance here, and following her into round number 3 is Valentina Diaz from Chile. So thanks for tuning in. We just finished this round number 2 of the Pro Women's Division, and we're gonna jump into the trials round number 4, which represents the semi-finals. What did you think about the ladies' performance now that we unfolding the women's tour and we are crowning a world champion?
You know, I loved it. I actually love watching the women's. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do when I get here, because it's such a small, compact division, but they are just fierce competitors. And I'm very happy to see Valentina Diaz making it through. She's one of my favorites. She's kind of always been one of my favorites. And here we go, up and riding. We got Nelson Flores on a little nugget. Look at that, pops a nice little clean roll just to open his account, and he'll start building from that, and we'll probably see some more explosive riding from little Nacho Nelson Flores.
A lot of action at the moment from the boys already, and he is Ravic going for a backflip on his own to a left side. So that's a rare occurrence today. I think it's the first left-hander ridden today. And up and riding, this is Sammy Morantino, the Hawaiian, the fellow in yellow, going for a roll of his own, unfortunately not landing, and looked like a seal just diving there, and could not land that move. So wait on the scores of this first wave exchange, and still yet to catch a wave is Dave Albert, the rider in red, holding on to priority out the back. So who do we have in the water, Ian? And what do you think about this first semi-final of the trials?
You know, I think, well, at the moment we will get onto that, but now Dave Hubbard's opening his account. He's been watching it since the break of dawn. He gets a little cover up. He's been watching these waves and a little roll through the lip, and there he is. He pops up right in front of the wave. So he's going to stick with his game plan, where he's going to get one wave and he's going to run up and he's going to float down, trying to pick it off. But he's been here since it was dark, and he's been watching the waves, studying them, looking what the tide's doing, timing the sets, and just really making sure that he's well prepared for his heat. And we actually saw that now. He knew which one to that, but now Dave Hubbard's opening his account. He's been watching it since the break of dawn. He gets a little cover up. He's been watching these waves and a little roll through the lip, and there he is. He pops up. We've got Ijayash, who just scored a 6-point ride for his backflip on that left, like you said, which we haven't seen many lefts. Nelson Flores all the way from Chile. We got Dave Hubbard with a 2.25, and Sammy Morantino, who kind of lost his board a little bit in that last wave exchange. Maybe you should take some advice from Seamus McGoldrick yesterday, that instead of waxing up his board, he waxed up his hands. As he said, man, it is insanely strong. That's it. Nice. Sammy Morantino with a good little roll, and another one on a nice looking fun size wave, bang onto the sand.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a cover up there, and I was able still to come out 2 rolls, so a 2-com move wave there. So that's going to be a nice wait for Sammy to start his campaign in this first semi-final of the...
Up his hands. As he said, man, it is insanely strong. That's it. Nice. Sammy Morantino with a good little roll, and another one on a nice looking fun size wave, bang. So these guys want to make sure that they really get good scores in, build up from the ground up, lay that a foundation, get those 2 opening scores, and then try and get some more flair and get it going. So this is now past just rolling. This is now just past that. Now they would have to step up and make sure that they do the backflips, they do the combination rides, and that is going to see them through. Unfortunately, the person with the lowest score will not be making it through, and we'll see the only top 7 guys advancing into the main event.
So no one wants to get fourth in this seat because that means you have a 50-50 possibility of getting knocked off
Absolutely.
and not jumping into the main event. Meanwhile, not being knocked out and doing a great job in the last hit is the winner of the second hit of the second round with Vilma Vicente. So congratulations, parabéns a Madalena Valerio, and take it away, Vilma.
It was kind of hard. It was fun though. I started the heat nicely. I backed it. I got 2 waves and then I backed it up with a 5. That wave was so fun. It's the main reason we came here to Nazare. It was a fun heat.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Congratulations for the big show. Do you want to leave a message?
Eu gostava de agradecer a toda a gente que me tem apoiado em Lisboa, aqui em Portugal. É muito bom ter todo este apoio e força Portugal.
Okay, go Portugal and go girls from Portugal. You have a big team here. Do you think that pushes you to do better?
Yeah, it's good. You feel at home when you're with the right people. I'm staying with Isabella, and all the girls on tour are so close. We are really good friends, so it's good. It's a good like atmosphere to be in.
It's a family. And by the way, congratulations to Valentina Diaz with that last wave just on through to the second place. Okay, back to you guys.
Interview there with Madalena Valerio and Vilma Vicente, of course, holding it down there in the interview booth. And Madalena Valerio doing a great job for the Portuguese Armada and Pro Women's Division and advancing into round 3. So congratulations to Madalena and all of her team. And we're right now in the first semi-final of the trialists here, and like you mentioned, Dion, no one wants to get that 4th place position in this heat because that means
the end of the road. And Sammy Martino keeping really busy here. Nice little roll, and he's stalling, dropping his legs, looking for the second section, and there it is. And that's the end of his ride. Now, Sammy has been busy. This is about his 4th wave that he's been taking in the last couple of minutes, and he posted already a 5-pointer, and he will definitely improve that 1.6. So, Dave,
position in this heat because that means
the end of the road. And Sammy Martino keeping really busy here. Nice little roll, and he's stalling, dropping his legs, looking for the second section, and there it is. And that's going to be ending up in the bottom 2. The bottom 2 will be decided for the person with the highest scores. The guy with the lowest score, unfortunately, will be the end of the road, and that's heartbreaking because you made it through round 1 to the round 2, round 3 quarters, and now you're in the semis, and unfortunately, you're right there. It's the door's right in front of you, but you now need to make that score and do not want to end up right at the bottom. That will be heartbreaking for whoever's out there.
Yeah, do you know what's sad is that actually is going to be someone that is going to be stuck in that position and is going to feel like you described, you know. You made it all the way into the semifinals. Unfortunately, only 7 spots available. So out of these 8 that we will see in the water in these 2 semifinals of the trialists, 1 is being knocked out of the event, and the lucky 7 will advance into the main event, which will be a great show because it's going to be 3 non-elimination rounds, and the best 2 waves of those 3 rounds will make the final ratings who's going to advance in the main event. Meanwhile, up and riding, this is Isaiah Zravic, and out the back, this is Dave Herbert. Isaiah Zravic with a forward spin and a roll, and right now, Dave Herbert with a roll, forward spin, and a roll. So we've got a heat on our hands, Dion. What do you thought about this wave exchange?
No, absolutely. It's just now's the time where safe surfing is out the window.
Non-elimination rounds, and the best 2 waves of those 3 rounds will make the final ratings who's going to advance in the main event. Meanwhile, up and riding, this is Isaiah Zravic, and out the back, this is Dave Herbert. Isaiah Zravic with a forward spin and a roll, and right now, Dave Herbert with a roll, forward spin.
Let's see what the judges are thinking about Isaiah's. He had a nice, solid wave. I think it was a bit bigger than Dave Hubbart's, but that's for them to decide. But I reckon between Sammy and Isaiah, that will be the first and the second, and Dave Hubbard will be hungry, probably bump up back into 3rd position.
Okay, so Sammy Marantino with that last wave, 2 roll combo wave, he posted a 5.75 and is currently in the lead, backing it up with a 5 wave that was a 2 roller wave as well. Zayas Ravic still sitting in a 2nd place position, waiting for the scores to come out of that his last wave, and he posted a 6 on that first wave effort with the backflip to the left-hand side. Nelson Flores posted a 4. We yet to see a backup for Nelson Nacho Flores, and Dave Herbert looks like he posted his best wave at the moment, as we see a beautiful wave, image of the cliff with the fort of São Michael Archangel there with the lighthouse, the famous lighthouse here in Praia do Norte, Nazare. And somebody gearing up for the next heat. Who's that? As soon as we see her face, he's waxing his ends.
No,
That's
it.
the Seamus McGoldrick technique being applied there, as you mentioned. And some people are starting to gather here in the beach, and the vibes are going to be great once it gets a little bit late, because we Portuguese like to sleep in.
Clearly.
And then when the sun is out, a little bit more warm, we come out of the mouse hole and start to hunt for whatever activities we we love to do here. And Dion, how you've been enjoying Portugal, as it's your first time, and especially Nazare?
Yes, you know what, it's absolutely fantastic. I love coming to Europe, and I've always wanted to come to Portugal, and to be in the iconic Nazare, the big wave capital of the world, is insane. It's humbling. It's it's such a place, such a massive water culture here, surf culture. There's, we were fortunate enough, as we spoke about it yesterday, to see Antonio Cardoso's new movie. I mean, that was sold out. I mean, it is alive and well, whether it's bodyboarding or any type of water sports. This is one of the meccas in Europe, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, the waves are good. But unfortunately, when you come to Cape Town or come to Africa, this late start of the day won't be possible, because that African sun will kick you out of bed quite quickly and get you on your way, because it gets pretty hot out there. And today is quite hot. As we look at it, exactly, my words aren't even cold. Look at Dave Hubbard, massive score, 7.75 and another 7. Knocking Sammy Morantino, has been sitting in that lead for quite some time, knocking him back into third position. And this is where safe surfing is not going to help you anymore. You need to now seriously step it up and make what you can with these conditions. Here we go, Dave Hubbard looking into this one again. Nice little wave, looks at that wall. He's going to try to link it up, and like he's done. I would love to see that 7 and the 7.5. Unfortunately, we were talking about the beautiful lighthouse, and the cameraman was enjoying that as well. But for Dave Hubbard, that is exactly his plan, and he's sticking to it. He's been here this morning, and like I said, he's been watching it. He opened up his account with an easy roll, and now he's just posting up some of the highest scores of the day so far. So Nelson Flores, Sammy Morantino, and Ijaj Havik, they have their work cut out if they want to compete for that first position and stay away from the dead zone, which is the last position on both of these next heats.
Yeah, we're watching on screen Juan Hurricane Sanos, one of the beach commentators here at the Nazare Pro, just giving some advice and his readout of the waves here to a couple of the riders, as we see the jet ski making the water safety and all of the riders safe. Today is not one of those days that you feel unsafe here at Praia do Norte, but believe me that having a jet ski assistance here is very important. And as soon as the swells kick in, it will be a very important add-on here at the Nazare Pro. Meanwhile, up and riding, this is the rider in blue. This is Nacho, aka Nelson Flores from Chile. And we got a Chilean in this heat. We've got a Brazilian and 2 Hawaiians battling it out to the top 2 advancing positions into the final of the trials, but also the 7 lucky spots available for the minivan. Nice reverse spin there by Sammy Morantino, going for a roll, still kicking his flippers, trying to get to the end section of that wave, but unfortunately for Sammy, the wave died. Pro. Meanwhile, up and riding, this is the rider in blue. This is Nacho, aka Nelson Flores from Chile. And we got a Chilean in this heat. We've got a Brazilian and 2 Hawaiians battling it out to the top 2 advancing positions into the final of the trials, but also the 7 lucky spots available for the minivan. Nice reverse spin there. Qualified for next year World Grand Slam Series, so it's going to be a great add-on with the likes of Isaías Ravic, the young Brazilian. Sammy Morantino in 3rd place at the moment, and in 4th place, still trying to back up his first wave, is Nelson Flores, and we just saw him do that, so we're waiting for the scores.
All right, that was Ijaz kicking out of that one. Not much happening in this heat. A little bit quiet since the last time we Had Dave Hubbard putting up a clinic, like you said, with a 7 and a 7.5, and Ijaya still sitting pretty. He's got a total score of 11. Here we go. That is Dave Hubbard just having some fun now because he's feeling very relaxed. He knows he's put up some big scores, and to match a 7.75 and a 7-pointer is going to take quite a lot. So he will just be ticking away, just enjoying it, keeping the momentum, and trying to put some more pressure on his the competitors that he is surfing up against, and trying to force some errors to potentially thin out the weakest guys to make it easier for him in the finals as well. That is if he makes it through. So Ijaya's total score of 11. He needs a 8.76 to get that first position, and Sammy Morantino, current DK world champion, extremely versatile bodyboarder, he needs that 5.26 for that second position, and Nelson Nacho Flores with a total of 9.3, and he needs a 5.71 for that second position. So still wide open, 10 minutes to go, my man. I reckon we're in for a crazy 10 minutes.
Oh, we're in for a treat, as none of these riders want to lose access to the great trials final up and riding. This is the rider in white. Nice bottom turn, nice extension on their roll, still stalling there, trying to find an end section, but the wave just closes it out on the shore, and Zayas just gets stunned by what the wave did there, and was not able to combo another move, and he's running up the beach. I think this wave might improve Zaya's Ravic situation, as he is about to drop a score that probably will substitute the 5 point that he has as a backup. Meanwhile, up and riding, Nacho, take us through this one, Dion.
All right, Nelson Flores setting up with a nice little one. Is he going to flip it? There we go. Hooks that back flip.
Wow.
And that will send it straight into orbit that he just did, and might just
As a backup. Meanwhile, up and riding, Nacho, take us through this one, Dion.
All right, Nelson Flores setting up with a nice little one. Is he going to flip it? There we go. Hooks that back flip.
Wow.
And that will send it that he needs. So let's see what the judges think. So I reckon that might just change a little bit of situation for second position. And it's all out now. Like we said, this next 10 minutes is going to be quite tense, and these guys know it. They know it. They do not want to find themselves. Yeah, there we go. As we said, a 6.65 for that beautiful backflip, and it's difficult. It's shallow, and he pulled it around really quickly, which is the key.
Yeah, the judges are waiting for that smooth riding, the perfect timing to attack that critical section, and the landing is very important as well. As if you can land that move as smoothly as you can, the judges will reward you, and there you have it. Nelson Flores posting a 6.65 and jumping from 4th position into 2nd place position, and now it is Sammy Morantino that was leading the heat in the first minutes, now is being relegated into 4th position, and now is on the hunt for a 6.21 if he wants to get back at least to 2nd place, which will allow him to go into the final of the trials. Up and riding, this is Sammy.
All right, Sammy sending that one. Nice clean areas, lands perfectly, and another backing up with a roll, and there he is. Woohoo! I think the real fight in this heat is for the bottom 2 positions to try and not be in the 4th position. Now, that was a great RS. That was
go into the final of the trials. Up and riding, this is Sammy.
All right, Sammy sending that one. Nice clean areas, lands perfectly, and another backing up with a roll, and there Dave Hubbard, unfazed, just sitting there, the cool, calm, collected competitor that he is, unfazed. You're just keeping an eye out, listening to the beach commentator, seeing, and I think he will only come onto the attack once his position is being threatened. So a 6.05 from Sammy Morantino, and there we go. Nacho on this little one. What's going to happen? Good clean rolls, canning combination. There we go. 2 rolls. So things are quite hectic at the moment. You do not want to be in that last position, and Ijayas is unfortunately the guy in that last position.
Yeah, he just jumped into 4th place position there.
And there we go. Nacho on this little one. What's going to happen? Good clean rolls, canning combination. There we go. 2 rolls. So things are quite hectic.
And Sammy Morantino just got out of that 4th place position that no one of these riders wants to be in. And do you think that the riders to the next seat, by knowing which is the score they need to obtain, even if they get 4th place position, that will be like a mental barrier for them, just to know that you have to at least to get those 2 waves that will combine a score high enough not to be as low as the scores that Isaias is holding at the moment.
Yeah, and okay, let's be honest. 11.55 is not a low score to beat. So these guys
Correct.
would know that is the bar. Here we go, nice little split peak action. This is Nelson Flores, good looking wave, a lot of speed. There's that section coming up for him. He rolls right through the lip, good clean landing in the flats and just kicked out there. So back to what you were saying is that, they are closely watching this heat. I'm sure of that. And they know now already the minimum requirement would for them to be able to beat, as it stands right now with 5 minutes, 55 seconds to go, they would have to beat an 11.55, which is not a small ask. You got to better a 6 and you got to better a 5.5. So that would be the minimum requirement to maybe get into that just out of that danger zone. I mean,
Limbo.
That limbo where you need to get a 12 point, it's 2 6-point combinations, and then you'll be safe if nothing changes. Yeah, that in terms will then mean Isaias Havoc will not be making it into the main event, which is extremely sad because he's been surfing really well. So that is just the reality of the situation, ladies and gentlemen. And this is now when the trials are really heating up and these guys are sending it, and we can see Dave Howard with both scores over 7, Nelson Flores with some solid scores, Sammy Morantino with some solid scores, and Isaias with also solid scores. I mean, these are some of the biggest scores we've seen the whole day.
Yeah, if you look at the combined scores, only Dave Albert stands out with a 14.20.75, sorry, and Nelson Flores in second is holding on to 11.95. So right after him is Sammy Morantino 11.80, and not far is Isaias with an 11.55. So the difference, it's just 0.3, so there's not much difference there. Anything can still happen in the last minutes of this heat, and like you said, it's sad to see the riders that are been performing quite well in the early rounds being knocked out. But if you're in the semifinals of the trials, it means you performed well in the early rounds. So it's sad for any rider that is in that 4th place position and has to wait for the next heat to unfold to know if he's gonna join those lucky 7s that are gonna advance into the main event. How exciting is this? And it's only day 2 at the Nazare Pro 2018.
Yeah, that's exciting, and 10 times as well. So if you're coming 4th in this heat, you would just be praying to the surf gods that the competitor that will be sitting in the 4th position will not outdo your scores and better your scores. If he betters your scores, which is currently an 11.55, that means that you will be going home, and if he does not, that means that competitor will be going home. So currently what the situation is that Isaias is a little bit in a pickle right now, and we've got the tractor coming past us, the beach cleanup. They're bringing some more equipment that we need, so if you can hear some noise through that is just the beach tractor from Praia do Norte
just here in front
yeah.
of us. Amazing. And everyone's making sure that we have everything we need so we can showcase the best bodyboarding in the world here at Praia do Norte. And there's a great team behind all of what's happening here, and we like to shout out both the organization, the local organization, and of course APB and all the judges panel, all the beach marshal, all the guys with the priorities. The beach commentary is putting the commentary out there for the riders to know. And meanwhile, up and riding, this is Dave with stylish invert there, just having like a victory lap with that good looking wave, and let's see if he improves his situation in the leadership of this heat. And it's Isaias Ravic that's in the worst position, or not so good position in this heat, but you can see him out there and is one of those riders, if a wave comes his way, you better watch out, because you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he won the trials in Itacoatiara, and that really cemented him as a highly contestable rider. And I think he would be a little bit upset that he's currently in 4th position, but this has been a very high scoring heat, and he would just try and fight it out up until the end of the heat. There's still 2 minutes to go. Dave Hubbard, like I said, he's just going to be having fun. He'll only come on the attack once he feels that he's
being threatened.
He's definitely being threatened. Nelson Flores also, he lucked into a couple of good waves, so he's also a little bit nervous as well, but the real fight, as we said, is for that third position. You do not want to end up in that fourth position, because that means you are halfway, 50% are your chances that you will not be making it home. But with 11.55, the competitors in the next heat will know they need to score a minimum of 11.55 just to make it through, or to break even, and then we'll go to a count back.
Exciting times
Dave
and
Hubbard,
exciting riding
the
from
wounded
Dave
duck.
Hubbard, doing the JP Caldwell stance there, which is a switch. I would call it kind of a switch stance, riding the bodyboard, where you use switch hands. Meanwhile, there was Sammy Morentino going for the last wave effort, 55 seconds on the clock. Will this wave help Sammy Morentino jump into second and advancing position? We're talking about not getting stuck in the fourth place position in this heat, but still the top two riders will be the ones that will advance into the final. So a lot of stake, a lot of excitement. We see Nelson Flores going for a backflip of his own, unfortunately not landing. Will be this the end of this first semi-final, or Esaias Ravic can still make a difference? What do you think, Dion?
You know, I'm hoping Esaias will be able to get one more load. There he is. Talk about the devil. Nice little roll. He needs to improve on a 5.55, and is this going to be that way that we'll give it to him? Now, if he improves on that means it will be between him and Sammy, but that means already, right at the end of the death, that a minimum requirement to make it through. There he is. Talk about the devil. Nice little roll. He needs to improve on a 5.55, and is this going to be that way that we'll give it to him? Now, if he improves on that means hits that little eject button and goes for a roll through the lip. And let's wait and see what the scores are going to be giving us for Esaias Havoc, and as well what the second round of the semi-finals competitors would be needing as a minimum requirement.
Exciting times that is, and the first semi-final just finished. And let's see if we can get the score of the last wave from Esaias Ravic. He was on hunt for a 5.96 to jump into second place position and advance to the final, or even try and get that third place position so he can rest and make sure he is going to the main event. And we'll wait for the last score of that wave, and we have got the next semi-final underway, semi-final number 2 that is. And who do we have in the water, Dion?
We got Chomin Lopez from France, or is it Basque?
I think it's Basque Country.
From the Basque Country. We got Gonzalo Pinheiro, Joshua Toledo, and Socrates Santana. Now, Sock Dog is sitting at the current 9th position on the Quest ranking, so he needs a good result, and he needs to make it into the main event for him to secure position in the top 32 next year. So that is also a little bit tense time, and you know, these guys would know that they need to improve on that 11.55 that we just saw from the last heat as the lowest score, which is a big ask.
So the solo Portuguese still in this trials is Gonçalo Pinheiro, the rider in white. Let's see if he can advance as well to the main event. Chomin Lopez, the Basque Country, I think French part of the Basque Country. It's in red. And Joshua Toledo, the Chilean, one of my favorite Chilean guiders, is the fellow in yellow. And up and riding, this is Socrates Santana and Joshua Toledo. What happened there? Is this...
Are we going to see
I don't think we have
interference?
Priorities at the time. So looks like Joshua Toledo is kind of...
It's asking the question.
Yeah, that I have priority or not, we'll soon find out. But he dropped in on Socrates Santana's wave there, the rider in blue. Let's see what the judges think about that. As we hear the beach commentary saying interference of yellow and blue. So, wow, a great upset for Joshua Toledo. The only thing that is in favor, because there is no priority, the rule book says only half of your best wave will be cut off, not the full complete score. If they had priority settled already, that will be a full wave score that is going to be dismissed. So still Joshua Toledo is going to have a lot of work cut out for him, as he wants to at least get a score above, a combined score above 11.55 like you were mentioning in the last seat. Wow, what an upset.
Yeah, absolutely, and it wasn't done intentionally. You know, it's that type of wave that's a quick closeout at the moment. So unfortunately, these guys probably didn't see Socrates on his inside, or Socrates was late to commit to that one, but still Socrates having that inside, he had priority, and unfortunately for Joshua Toledo would be getting that interference call. But still a lot of time in this heat, and 22 minutes to go. Not much happening here in terms of waves being ridden. Only a 1 ride for Gonzalo with a 3-pointer, and Socrates Santana with 2 quick waves with 2.75, and Showman and Joshua still needing to get onto the scorecard. But and our words aren't even cold, and we're back into the drama situation right now. And this is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. So we're going to be switching over to a interview with Wilma and heat winner Dave Hubbard. Wilma, over to you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, you're in. Only the last one of the last scores of the semifinals don't go through. So congratulations, and you put up a big show out there. The conditions are very different from yesterday. So.
Yeah, it's a bit smaller. The current's a little more manageable. You can actually paddle against it. If you catch one far down, you might as well walk anyways. But there's still little barrels, so that was super cool. I was stoked to get a little cubby hole and make it through, and I'm super stoked to be in the main event now.
How many heats do you surf to get here?
That was my 4th heat, and I guess I'm in the finals of the trials, so it'll be 5. So 5 heats before the main event. So
good to see you putting up the big show that you did so far, and for sure we're gonna see a lot more. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to add? We love hearing from you. So
yeah, thanks to everybody who's tuning in and watching, and just give all the glory to God for everything.
Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
All right, back to the action. Thank you for the amazing interview. And Socrates Santana during that interview going absolutely ham on that one wave with a massive backflip. So let's see what the judges think of that. Now, he wouldn't be too rattled about the interference. It unfortunately wasn't on him. And back in the hot seat with me is one and only Manny Vargas. Manny, you've missed, you've been quite busy, but the previous heat we saw some high scoring waves.
Wow, you know what? Welcome back, everybody. Manny V here. Yes, and you can hear Dion in the background. Obviously, sometimes we'll get too excited and forget to turn on our mics, but here we go. Thank you, Nunito, for taking the time. But now, back to the live action. So, what did I miss? Dion Mumbles, what is going on out there?
All right, so you've been missing out some seriously high scores. The last heat of the first semi-final was quite insane, with the guys posting nothing under 11 points, and you know, as a total combined score with its current conditions, that is some of the highest heat scores that we've had so far. Dave Hubbard is being an exceptional standout, clocking a 7.75 and a 7-pointer, but Isaias now in that 4th position of the previous heat, and now he's kind of in that situation where if the competitor in this round ends up getting a higher score than him, then he would be unfortunately going home. And coming off a win in Itaquachara in the trials, I think he would be very upset not to make it into the main event and still being the Quest points leader. So in a nutshell, that is exactly what you have missed, and just a really good quality bodyboarding all around.
Yeah, these semifinals and the trials, this is do or die. Only 7 of the 8 will advance on. The lucky 7 will go into the main event, and then we start off the main event in the men's, where it is going to start off with the sessions, which is pretty awesome. So on tap, we do have more action going on through the day. Let's take a look at the schedule for those that are standing by and watching right now, and what they will see coming up after this semifinal number 2.
All right, after semi-final number 2, we will be banging straight into the women's round 3, and then straight after that, we got 4 heats of the women's round 3, and then trials finals for the day, and then we will be making a call as the rest of the schedule, and that is Joshua Toledo unfortunately got that interference called, and now he's sitting in second position with an interference, and Socrates Santana unfortunately not landing that massive backflip, but was very committed to land that thing, and it was on a better wave. Now he's asking the question in terms of what is his scores right now, so the beach announcer will be throwing it at him, but he knows that he's got an interference, and his second highest score is half because there was no priority.
I think he's just looking at it saying, what just happened? Did I just get interference? He's trying to get the logistics behind it, and look at him. Now it's a scramble to figure out how to advance on out of this heat, because only 2 riders will advance on. Oh, sorry, I take that back. Look at that, nice roll.
Nice roll by Showman the Basque man. So this is a semi-finals, and there's only 7 positions available for the main event, and there's 8 riders, 4 riders per heat. And moving on here, we'll be heading into the women's round 3 and the trials finals. The top 2 riders will then progress into the finals of the 2018 Nazare Pro, the trials division, and that will then decide the 7 seats for the main event. And my goodness, Manny, the main event is shaping to be one hell of a show.
Yes, no, I mean, if you want to see what's going down as far as who's advancing on, who's in the trials, who is left in the heat, and what is expected from the main event rounds of the men's division, download Stacked. Here we go, up and running. Joshua Toledo knows he's behind the 8 ball, now trying to put something together. I think he's got to wait for the bigger waves and go big on that one big maneuver, because now he has that interference on his scorecard. That's going to hurt him. Look at big extension right there from the young Frenchman from the Basque Country, Choman Lopez. So I'm sure Nicholas Capdeville is tuning in live from Staps Center. Let me see. I need to look up the name of his school. But yeah, Nicholas Capdeville is watching, making sure all of his young riders are performing beautifully, and Showman putting it together here.
Yeah, Showman being very consistent rider throughout the day yesterday, and he's definitely done some of the biggest maneuvers we saw yesterday, some serious consistent rolls in that very difficult conditions, but not only small rolls, very committal to the bigger sections, and landing sometimes bang onto the dry sand. Now Socrates Santana coming up the ladder with a 7.25. I think that was a previous backflip of his, being scored very highly with a 7.25, and leaving Joshua Toledo with that interference in 3rd position. And Gonçalo Pinheiro, the lone Portuguese rider here, he's sitting in 4th position, Manny.
Yeah, but I mean, he's from Sagres. He knows what this wave is like. I'm sure he spends a lot of time up here in Pride of the North, so I'm not going to count him out as well. I mean, we got a 25-minute heat. We're down to the last 14 minutes, 50 seconds, and Pinheiro definitely has the support of the Portuguese on the beach, so he will get some tips on where to paddle, where to go, where to expect some of the better waves. But yeah, Joshua Toledo, he is the one who needs to concentrate a little bit and go for those bigger waves, bigger scores, because 7.25, Socrates Santana's first highest scoring wave, is something that he needs to get at least of, because guaranteed riders are going to come out fired. Look at this. Here we go. Clean roll, spin into a clean roll. I wanted to say a clean wave, but man, the winds keep switching around, and right now they've come a little bit on offshore, and it looks beautiful out there.
It is. It's very beautiful. And what a complete opposite of a contrast day that we had yesterday. It was just mayhem on the wind, mayhem with the...
To get at least of, because guaranteed riders are going to come out fired. Look at this. Here we go. Clean roll, spin into a clean roll.
And a good clean place to play with. And a rare left-hander being ridden by Joshua Toledo, doing a nice ARS, and you see just didn't land it. And it's exceptionally shallow, and that rip still playing a serious part in how they are managing the heats.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think he's getting anxious now. He's trying to get anything in sight, even though he doesn't have that priority in his hand. So I think he's okay waiting for 5, 6, 7 minutes for the bigger waves to come through, so he can get those bigger scores. I'm telling you, that 7.25 from Socrates Santana is something he's got to shoot for, because if Showman comes up with a 6 or 7, it's going to be difficult for Joshua to catch up to those two guys. Juan Carlos Pinheiro, I'm not worried. I mean, he's got 13 minutes, and he's a Portuguese rider, and I think he's just going to wait for the bigger waves, and I think he still has a shot here in this heat number 2 of the semifinals. And again, it comes down to the lucky 7. Here's a look, live action.
All right, the lone Portuguese rider Gonzalo getting on that nice little roll. He sees that second section, lines it up, and a double roller. So this would definitely improve his situation. Now, the thing is, you do not want to end up in fourth position. If you end up in fourth position and your score is lower than Ijai's Havoc, which was the rider in the previous heat that ended in fourth position, then and your score is lower, like I said, then you would unfortunately not be making the cut. And that's
The lucky 7. Here's a look. Live action.
all right, the lone Portuguese rider, Gonzalo, getting on that nice little roll. He sees that second section, lines it up, and a double roll. It really is heartbreaking, but it's all out. There's 12 minutes, 17 seconds to go, so still a lot of time to run here, and let's see what is happening. So 11.55 is the benchmark, and currently only Showman Lopez is in that region. But in saying that, fourth position here, if he does not improve on 11.55, then unfortunately he will be sent home.
I'm trying to work the numbers right now, and if Joshua Toledo just holds on to that 4.6, I'm going to subtract that 11.55, 4.6, and it's going to be, he's going to need somewhere around, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe a 6.8 or 6.7 for a big move, and that might be it right there. Oh, but he gets clipped. Can he walk? No, he just gets ragdolled.
Oh, unfortunately.
He's you can see the frustration right there settling in, but man, he's got a lot of time. He's just got to press the reset button, and he's got to come up big right now. If he ends up in that fourth place spot, he needs at least, I'm just going to put a 7-point ride. He needs a 7-point ride to be able to even think about getting out into the main event. But big backflip right there from Showman Lopez, but cannot pull it off. So, man, action underway here in the semifinals of the trials.
Yeah, action aplenty.
Point ride. He needs a 7-point ride to be able to even think about getting out into the main event. But big backflip right there from Showman Lopez, but cannot.
Like I said, more drama than the recent EFC fight. Joshua Toledo getting that interference call. Now, he needs that solid 7-point, and I reckon if he had landed that flip, he would have definitely made it through. Now we've got
Pinheiro up and
Pinheiro
riding,
again.
yes.
Yes, Manny, look at that. Gets through the lip. Solid roll. Now I can hear his mates just going crazy on the beach for him, but Joshua Toledo is kind of having a uphill battle, but you saw him getting out the water, composing himself, running back up there. He knows he's got a job to do, and he's hungry for it, and he does not want to be left behind.
Showman Lopez, he can't let his guard down either. The young 2017 national champion from France knows the skills, has the skills, and I think he knows that he's aware of the situation right now where even though he does have first place position, it's going to be these scores of a 5.1 from Pinheiro and a 7.25 from Socrates Santana. Those are the scores that he's got to be aware of those guys right behind him, because he can definitely get knocked out of that first place spot and sent down into third and fourth. And again, it's all about that fourth place spot. You don't want to be there, and it's going to come down to, does your score beat 11.55, which is Isaiah's score in fourth place in that first semifinal. Oh my goodness.
That's it. And if we look at Socrates, he's got that 7.25 and only a 1.65, Manny. So all he needs is a, 2 rolls and maybe a little of a combination, and then he'll be right up there into first position. And that's going to change the game a little bit in the middle again. And Joshua Toledo would be watching Socrates with a very close eye.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. And again, it's interesting because let's say that he ended right now. Even though second and third place have lower scores than Isaiah's 11.55, they advance on into the final. But you know what? Let's get Teza McKenna. I just want to make sure that we're giving you the right info. He's the technical director. He's going to make sure that third and fourth place, even though they don't advance on into the final of the men's trials, I just want to make sure that third and fourth, are they the ones competing for those elusive spots going into the main event, or is it just fourth place? That's the question on hand. That's what I would like to know. Is Teza McKenna in the house, or do you have the information? Oh, okay. What do we got?
All right, we're gonna let Nonito explain to you guys.
Okay, so if you get placed third in this heat, you have an equal fifth place. and if you get fourth, you have a equal 7th place. So the lucky 7, it's going to be between those two that get the 7th place position on this trial event. And between those two, the one that has the lowest score will not advance.
So it is 4th place position that we're looking at. And look at this, Joshua, big extended roll on the left. He's got 7 minutes. Joshua, relax, buddy. Wait for those bigger waves. Paddle away from the group. Find your own wave. Find your own peak. And get those bigger scores. Because that 4th place position that we're looking at. And look at this, Joshua, big extended roll on the left. He's got to have a higher score than that of Isaias Havoc from Brazil.
Yeah, so basically it comes down, you do not want to have a lower score than Isaias. Havoc, which is 11.55, and right now he's unfortunately sitting in that, can't see so well there, but he's definitely got
Here
some
we go, up and
work
right,
cut
we got Socrates Santana. Socrates Santana punches through the lip, nice clean extended roll. And that is going to help him most definitely get rid of that 1.66. I'm going to even say that it'll catapult him into 1st or 2nd place spot easily because of that 7.25 that he has off of one of his first high scoring wave.
Spot on. He's definitely got
Here we
some
go, up and
work
right,
cut.
we got Socrates Santana. Socrates Santana punches through the lip, nice clean extended roll. And that
There's a McKenna that correct if the last rider in 4th position in this heat does not score higher than Isaias Havoc, he would unfortunately be sent home. So sad moments. You guys they've worked really hard to get to this point, and it's quite sad to see them
you
go.
know what, Joshua Toledo, I when I threw out the 7, I'm gonna correct myself because of that 4.6. Let's say he does get a 7, that 4.6 would be halved because of that interference, so that would leave him with a 9.6. Still not enough. So it's going to be, I think he needs to get, I'm going to do the numbers again, but let's just say that 4.6 is a 2.3 because it'll be halved. So he would need almost a perfect 10 to get above. So a 9 point, oh gosh, let me work the numbers. Dion, give us a lowdown on what currently we have in the water with the 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
All right, while you crunch some numbers, I will give out the figures. So with 5 minutes 20 seconds, as you said, Socrates Santana bang into 1st position with a solid score of a 7.225 and a 5.3, leaving him with a 12.55 total. Shomin Lopez with a 5.75 and another 5.7. Here we go. That is right and white. The Portuguese, nice little spin in the pocket, looks at that section and bangs a proper roll out there. Now that match has changed the game, and Shomin kicking out of that one. And, so maybe we're going to see Gonzalo moving into that 2nd position. Oh, here we go. Rider in blue. Sock Dog sending on this one. Nice little cover up and just cruising through that and getting a closeout. Now, the battle is for the 4th position. Joshua Toledo has got his work cut out from, unfortunately, unlucky to get an unintentional interference in the semi-final. And he's a very explosive rider, and it would have been so far amazing to see him in the main event. But still 4 minutes 26 seconds remaining. 7.5 and another 5.7. Here we go. That is right and white. The Portuguese, nice little spin in the pocket, looks at that section and bangs a proper roll out there. Now that match has changed the game, and Shomin kicking out of that one. And, so maybe we're going to see Gonzalo moving into that 2nd position. Oh, here we go. Rider in blue. Sock Dog sending on this one. Nice little
9.26 to get above Joshua Toledo. If Joshua Toledo needs to get a 9.26 to make sure he's a 0.01 above Isaias Havoc from Brazil. So I don't know if we got a camera on Isaias. Nunito's going to go into the production room and ask the camera guys to get a camera on Isaias, because this is depending on who goes into the main event. That's the question here. Isaias or Joshua Toledo? Because I know Giancarlo, he has 3 minutes. He'll come back with another wave, because that's 6 and 5, pretty solid. And taking a look right here at Shomin Lopez, those 3 guys are looking very solid. Here we go, up and right in the Baskman.
All right, the Bassman cruising, last little line hits that section, but just not enough speed, and just goes up and down. He would feel quite comfortable with his current position, and Socrates Santana right up behind him. Look at how that wave is shaping up. and sending it through the foam ball there and almost kissing the sand. But it is shallow out there, man. It is shallow, and that rip is making things colorful for these guys.
All right, here we go. He's looking for a 9.26, and I don't think that's going to be it right there. Do we have a camera? Are we looking for Ishayes Havoc? Because that is the story that is unfolding right now in the trials. And yeah, so Ishayes looking on very intently to make sure that Joshua Toledo doesn't get a 9.26 before the 2 minutes and 30 seconds run down.
Oh, that is correct. And right after this, ladies and gentlemen, we will be throwing into the women's round number 3. 25-minute heats, and we got 4 heats of the women's round.
Showman Lopez. Those 3 guys are looking very solid. Here we go, up and right in the batsman.
All right, the batsman cruising, nice little line, hits that section, but just not enough speed, and just goes up and down. You know, he would feel quite comfortable with his current position, and Socrates Santana right up behind him. Look at how that wave is shaping up, and sending it through the foam ball there and almost kissing the sand. But it is shallow out there, man. It is shallow, and that rip is making things colorful for these guys.
All right, here we go. He's looking for a 9.26, and I don't think that's going to be it right there. Do we have a? But there he is. There he is. He's the
New
kid.
haircut.
He's the kid in the white T-shirt, watching every single wave, every single paddle stroke, and Nunito found him, and they're chatting away right now. Ishayes. He's just waiting on the beach. And again, the situation on hand is Socrates Santana, Showman Lopez, they look very good on holding on to those spots and advance on into the trials finals. Juan Carlos Piñero, he's looking pretty solid. If he can just maintain that third paid spot, he will go into the final, or he will go into the main event. It's all about Joshua Toledo, and a 9.26 is what he needs to make it into the main event. I don't know, man. That interference right off the bat, that is biting him in the butt.
You know what? That was the first, not even the first minute of that heat, and the first wave. And unfortunately, I don't think he saw Socrates on his inside. And Socrates was not next to him. He was a little way up the way from him. So I think he thought that Socrates was going to let that one go. With 30 seconds to go, you know, Joshua Toledo, unfortunately, this could spell the end of the road for him. But let's give credit where credit is due. Showman Lopez has really charged through the earlier rounds to solidify his position in the main event. So this young guy, here we go. We're
There he is. He is
happy.
If we can tell Nunito to get out of the way, let's get the excitement from Ishayes Havoc. The Brazilian is stoked.
Yes.
There he is. Yeah, he is stoked. So Ishayes Havoc will advance on into the main event along with Socrates Santana, Showman Lopez, and Juan Carlos Piñero. Unfortunately, it was Joshua Toledo not advancing on. There he is. Nunito, get out of the frame, brother.
Nunito loves to talk with it's on and off the microphone, Manny. And all right, so this is where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. That means that Joshua Toledo has been knocked out of the event and will not be making it through to the final, well, to the main event, and unfortunately getting knocked out in dramatic fashion as well, Manny.
Well, thanks for Nunito for finding Ishayes, but unfortunately Nunito was in the frame the entire time blocking him. So there he is. So he is stoked. A big shout out. Ishayes, he is stoked right there. So he will be one of the lucky 7 barely squeaking by. So congratulations to the lucky number 7 in the trials for advancing on.
Snuck in there by the skin of his teeth, but he made it, and you see he is happy.
I think he is. By the skin of his teeth, he is advancing on. Eder Luciano, fellow Brazilian, and very one of the activists, I want to say, or one of those promoters down in Brazil, making things happen for bodyboarding for years and still continuing to be leading the charge down there. So Dion Mayer, what do we got now? What do we got on tap?
All right, what we got on tap is a cracker women's heat with Sari O'Hara, Teresa Almeida, and Mrs. Padrella from Portugal. So 2 Portuguese riders and 1 Japanese rider facing each other off in a 3-woman heat, and Sari O'Hara coming off a solid performance in the previous rounds, winning her heats, and Teresa Almeida as well. So this is going to be a really good heat to watch, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned, get the popcorn ready, because right after this we'll be heading into the trials finals.
All right, so round number 3. This is an elimination round. First and second will go into the quarterfinals. Third place will have an equal 9th place, and that will clock in 2,000 points and some cash money for the bank account. Here we go. Nice clean bottom turn. A little slow on that roll, but just flops it over and will not be able to pull that off. And that was our first wave of the heat. Teresa Padrella, and we do have Sari O'Hara and Teresa Almeida out in the water. Again, top 2 riders advancing on into the quarterfinals. Third place will end up equal 9th.
And a lot of pressure on the likes of Ayaka Suzuki, on Alexander Rinde, Valentina Diaz, and Joanna Schenker, because there's a serious situation for all of them that could be potentially be crowned the APB Women's Tour title winner. And what amazing it will be to see Ayaka take the first ever Grand Slam or World Tour title to Japan.
Yes, this is a pretty historic event here if Ayaka can hold steady through the finals. But check this out. The way it is stacked up in round number 3, we have 2 Teresa Almeida.
Yeah, showing her local knowledge, and she did a really quick roll, and you often don't see that with some of the women having the power to push through the lip, and she really did well. And she
I'm surprised that she's the first one we got on camera. I mean, we've all done that. I mean,
oh, it's too good.
So we saw Teresa Padrella. I think she's caught a wave and she's going to make her way up the coast. But, man, look at that. Just offshore winds. The wind's been swirling around with this little mountain behind us and just making it offshore at 1 second, and side shore another. And, yeah, right now it's looking super clean out there. And we got Hayato and June. We're going to have dinner today. Tonight we're having dinner. Yeah, all right. So the Japanese riders in Sintra went all the way back to Japan and came back to Nazare to compete. That is some dedication right there, because I know that's at least a 24-hour flight to and from Japan in Asia. So shout out to those guys. I'd love to catch up with them. I think Hayato knows a little bit of English, but I can speak to them using, I'll just bring an extra notepad.
Rinda.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time. Round number 3 out in the water. This is heat number 1. Sari O'Hara. I mean, you know what? It's still early in the game, early in the heat. 2-point ride is all good. Teresa Almeida, 4.5, and look at that. It was Teresa Padrella with a 5.2. Have a chance. If one of them ends up in 3rd place and Martha can be the spoiler for one of them, that could happen. So stay tuned. That's coming up. Man, in heat number 3, same scenario. Joanna Schenker, Alexander Rinder will be facing off with Valentina Diaz. So Valentina Diaz can be the spoiler in that heat number 3. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to end off with heat number 4, Mariana Rosa, Madalena Padrella, and Madalena Valerio. That's coming up in round number 3. And yes, as Dion mentioned, we will go into the trials finals right after this. So if you want to follow all the scores from each one of the judges live and in real time, download Stacked. Stacked is the APB, actually the scoring system we're using here on the APB, and it's pretty sick. I mean, you get to follow your favorite rider, and you'll be able to follow the entire tour and see all the scores and see, you know, just stats, graphics, and everything. And the coolest part about it, play by play. You can see when priority changes. You can see when somebody caught a wave and what everybody else needs. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And what is amazing is the fact that they're using clean energy here as much as they can. We got 3 or 4 wind turbines within sight. What's going on here? Oh, quick little session. Yes. Heck yeah, let's do it. I'm always stoked to have some riders in here. So Socrates Santana is gonna be on standby for a second. First live action in yellow. Teresa Almeida looking very, very strong right now out in the water. That's her second score. But look at this, right down the beach. Nice clean bottom turn and a big roll right there. That was solid from Sadi Ohara, the Japanese rider. That will definitely catapult her into the bigger is gonna be on standby for a second. First live action in yellow. Teresa Almeida looking very, very strong right now out in the water. That's her second score. But look at this, right down the beach. Nice clean bottom turn and another big roll right there. So it is a roll central, but yes, she did pull out in front of that. Teresa Padrella. Now everybody's got that first solid score, and we're going to wait for those scores to drop. And as they're running back out in the water, perfect time to do a quick little interview with Socrates Santana. Socrates, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro.
Yes. So compared to yesterday was obviously very tough to compete. Today, was it difficult as well?
Yeah, today is small, but the conditions now very, very good. I'm stuck to win in my heat. Now focusing the next in advancing the next.
All right, you made it into the main event of the Grand Slam series. How important was that for you?
Yeah, advancing for the next is very important for me. Now the folks very excited in the main event.
All right, brother. Congratulations, and we'll see you in the main event. Any words you want to say to your fellow bodyboarders in Brazil that are watching?
Só tenho a agradecer mesmo a galera que está torcendo por mim. Muito obrigado mesmo, a minha família, a galera do Pois 5, tamo junto. Agradecer também o suporte da família que eu tenho aqui em Portugal, a tia Paulinha que está assistindo, Ricardo, grande abraço. Vamos seguir avançando e vamos para a próxima.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Socrates Santana. And yes, Sheish Havik will be joining him as well into the main event. Let's get back out into the action, and we'll see you later on, brother.
Yeah, thanks, Manny.
Yes. All right, now back to the live action. We do have, no, it's perfect. So Socrates Santana having some English lessons from Steve Action Jackson while Steve was in Rio de Janeiro, but getting clipped right there and getting denied Sadi Ohara. So, yes, back to the live action. Another roll on the outside. Teresa Almeida has those rolls down. Oh, Sadi just tripping. And I'm telling you, we've all been there, but to see it live on camera, I'm sure they'll brush it off. But running with your fins on, definitely a difficult thing, especially if you're just getting beat down on the inside. Santana having some English lessons from Steve Action Jackson while Steve was in Rio de Janeiro, but getting clipped right there and getting denied Sadi Ohara. So, yes, back to the live action. Another roll on the outside. Teresa Almeida. Spoiler in heat number 2, where 2 of the 4 contenders will go head-to-head with, actually we'll go 3 riders with Marta Letao. So some of the guys are getting ready. Dion Mayer and Nunito are working their way back to the commentary area. But man, what an amazing day so far. The winds have shifted, clean conditions. The current mellowed out tremendously. You see them not struggling so much compared to yesterday. So yeah, if you are tuning in live, you know what I haven't done is shout outs. Now's the perfect time to do it. If you're watching on our Facebook page, drop me a line, drop a comment right now on the APB World Tour Facebook page, and that's where I will go into the comments area. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Give me like 10 emoticons. Give me a emoticon shower right about now, and then we will go into some shout outs for all of you that are tuning in from all over the world. Super stoked you guys are tuning in. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can get this dialed in over here on my phone. So, yep, here we go. It is Whoa, Troy Jameson. Let's see how many messages he dropped. Man, you got a lot of the sweep. Yes, exactly. No, the current has mellowed out a ton here, and so it's actually pretty solid as far as not being dragged down the beach. Joao Vincino, hello from Oviedo, Portugal. Hey, Joao, what's up, brother? There we go. Nice, clean bottom turn. Sadi, technical rider, lands perfectly, and she will cut out of that. That will definitely put her back into the top first or second place spot because of that 7, and this will better her second wave for sure. So Joao, thanks again for having coffee with me when I was up there. Really appreciate it. And next time I come into Portugal, definitely putting Oviedo back on my places to go visit. It was amazing. So David Fisher, Sunshine Coast, what's up, brother? From Vietnam, 5:15 p.m. Richard Madison and Stephen Chalker. Chalks is loving it from Colbura. Where's Colbura? Let me know. Andre Braz from Portugal, probably working. It is Monday here. And Jay Stone, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Big love, big hug from Nazare. OC Surf and Sport, what's up? 62 Ride Shopper tuning in from California. Love you guys. And David Fisher, yes. Diogo Nieves, what's up, brother? He is working in Lisbon. So, again, thank you all for tuning in. Next shout-outs will be coming up. You know what? Now's a good time. Give us a share. Click on the share button. Let your friends know that we are coming live from the 2018 Nazare Pro. Anthony, what's up? Federico, good morning. RJ Perez from Puerto Rico, but in South Korea. 11 minutes, 32 seconds remaining. And Federico asked if I already had a pastel de nata. What do you think, brother? Come on. That's like a standard now every time I show up. I just make sure when I get to Portugal, realize that I am going to gain about 5 to 10 pounds because of pastel de nata and all the bread and all the cheese that is, you know, that's what you do when you're in Portugal. You just chow down on all the delicious food. But let's bring you back up to speed. Right now, out in the water, heat number 1 of 4. We have 3 persons heat. First and second will advance on into the quarterfinals of the women's division. Third place will end up in an equal 9th place, grab 2,000 points and some cash money for their bank account. So it's all about first and second. Coming down to the 10-minute mark, 25-minute heats. Top 2 riders are advancing on. And yes, this is a little different from yesterday. The sweep, the current going across the beach has mellowed out a little bit. And now we are just seeing the riders waiting patiently for the bigger stuff out there. So, Terry McKenna, so far so good for day number 2 of action.
You betcha. And welcome along, everyone. What an incredible day of action it is here at Praia do Norte. Of course, it's only small and clean, but some of those barrels are pretty mean. It's just grinding along the bank. And Semi Maritino, hey guys, how you doing? Semi Maritino and the guys up the beach, they're getting some incredible barrels, man, about probably 500 meters to the north. But we've got some really fun waves here. It's small, but it's really contestable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, the sweep across the beach totally mellowed out, but we do have contestable waves. And right now, we're out in the action. Heats 1 through 4 of round number 3, elimination round, is underway. And heat number 1 coming down to the under 10 minutes to go in this heat, and it's do or die for one of these riders out in the water. First and second advancing on to the quarterfinals. But man, heat number 2, whew, that is going to be interesting because it could be a spoiler for either Ayaka Suzuki or Isabella Sosa if Marta Leitao can knock them out of contention.
Well, that is quite, possible because Marta, one of the more experienced campaigners, of course, from here in Portugal, and entered the competition late, qualified through to the quarterfinals, and she's a real dark horse, I guess you could say, because she could really throw a spanner in the works of both Ayaka and Isabella. Let's wait and see. That's seat number 2. Then it's Joanna Schenker taking on Alex Rinder and Valentina Diaz. And then the last one, Marina Rosa, Madalena Pedrella, and Madalena Valerio. So that's our top 12 here in Nazare for 2018.
All right, so here's another look right here. Beautiful offshore conditions. Now the tide. Give us a lowdown on the conditions right now, Tessa. The tide and what it's gonna what is it going to do to the waves we have on hand?
Okay, so we had a around about a 9:45 high tide. Big extreme tides here in Portugal, not like back home in Australia where they're only 2.1 or 2.2 meters at a king tide. Here we're talking big ones. So yeah, it has a profound effect on the conditions. With that incoming tide, the upshot is that it might pull in some much needed swell onto the beaches. So we did see a little sort of a surge with the once the tide went from low and started to come high. There's the Japanese riders there, Jun Toyama and, of course, Hayata Inakita. So just making their way past the commentary booth as we see yellow finishing up on the shore there. So Sari Ohara, speaking of Japanese, locking that one in. Actually, that might have been, was that Teresa Almeida? It's getting a little hard to see the screen here with the with all the sunshine around.
Yes, Teresa Almeida was in the yellow, and she did looking for something better to better that 4.5. And she may have done it on that way.
Started to come high. There's the Japanese riders there, Jun Toyama and, of course, Hayata Inakita. So just making their way past the commentary booth as we
did. First and second advancing on. And third place, that is the end of the road.
It certainly is. And, gee, what a battle that we have. And, of course, we've posted it out on social media quite a bit, Manny, but there is a bit of a scenario that's going around. Of course, Ayaka Suzuki leading the rankings at the moment. And if she wins the event, she's the champion. It's pretty much that straightforward. If she makes second and Isabella doesn't make the final, they're going to tie. And, of course, in the case of a tie, what will happen is that a heat will be served to crown the APB 2018 World Champion. So
I love that.
A super heat will be, yeah, so do I. And it's going to imagine the excitement to serve one heat to win a world title.
But, I mean, it comes down to one heat, but they've served so many heats to get to that point. And it's going to be pretty fun to see where it ends up. But Ayaka, she's looking very strong, so she could possibly take out this event and not leave that for chance.
You betcha. So she came here straight away from Sintra and came straight to Nazare to practice. She's been surfing every single day, no matter how big or small it's been, and she's on a really good mission. She looks like she's in a really good place mentally as well. She seems very calm and collected. She's not letting it rattle her. Maybe she was thinking about the outcome a little too much in Sintra, and you know, as we've said time and time again, there's two types of thoughts for athletes. You've got the process of winning, which is catching waves, completing your maneuvers, using your heat time correctly, using priority to your advantage, and then you've got the outcome, which is the result, the prize money, the rankings, the fame, the glory. If you think too much about the outcome and not the process, Manny, it's always going to come back and bite you.
I'm always wondering too, the mental side of things, because her and Mac are dating right now and they're traveling around, but Mac didn't make it out of that heat, and so she's got to you know, console him, say, hey, everything's okay, but and it removes her from, you know, her situation. But I think Mac is a good man, and he'll you know, brush his sadness off and get into it and make sure he's supportive 100%. Here we go, live action.
Alrighty, here goes yellow, just a tight little one on the inside there.
Almeida.
Of course, yeah, that is Teresa Almeida right from up the hill here in Praia do Norte. She's got a beautiful little place called Zula, ZULLA.PT, if you want to check out the website, and everybody's staying there at the moment, so it's pretty cool.
We're coming down to the last 5-minute mark, and Teresa Almeida, Tessa is going to go hunt down Nunito and Dion Mayer to get him in the hot seat. This off and get into it and make sure he's supportive 100%. Here we go, live action.
Alrighty, here goes yellow, just a tight little one on the inside there.
Almeida.
Of course, yeah, that is Teresa Almeida right from up the hill here in Praia do Norte. She's got a beautiful little place called Zula, ZULLA.PT, if you want to check out the website, and everybody's staying there at the moment, so it's pretty cool.
We're coming down to the last 5, and in the hot seat we have Alex Leon. What's up, brother?
Hey, Matty, how are you?
Pretty good, just chapping away here, and you know, the live feed is going, and we have competitors throwing down. Heat number 1 coming down to a wire. Live action. We have blue Padrella. Nice clean roll right there. We'll ride that out into the sand, and oh my gosh, that is hectic.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. It's good to be back in Nazare. Microphone wasn't working before, so all good now.
Here we go.
And yeah, I mean, look at the weather today. Absolutely beautiful down here.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been here working behind the scenes for the last couple of days. What kind of vibe is out here right now?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, those 8 title contenders, the 4 men and women. You're just walking on eggshells around them. They're
Yeah.
not talking to each other. Some
Oh,
of them.
no.
It's pretty hostile. It's definitely, I guess, an amping environment because, you know, you're sort of around them thinking, like I see Ian and Jared aren't really talking to each other. They're keeping their distance. It's pretty cool to see.
Wow.
It's so competitive. And, you know, Tanner's on his own mission and I haven't even seen Pierre yet. He's just been hiding down in his place.
That's so
An
crazy.
hour and a half down the coast. So
They don't want to give away any secrets
Nah.
at all.
But it's insane. I love it, man. It's just insane. These titles coming down here, and we're going to, a couple of days, we'll be crowning the 2018 champions. Mental.
Yeah, and if the swell forecast is on point, then it is going to be, you can't end a tour better than this, having it here in Nazare. It's going to be insane if those swell forecasts come into fruition.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like we do have a pretty good swell coming, and obviously Saturday and Sunday looking way too big. Like they're kind of on standby almost for the WSL Big Wave event on Saturday because
damn.
it's going to be way too big here. We're going to have to move our structure off the beach because it's going to be swallowed up by the swell. So we have to finish Friday because we've got no other choices, and we're pretty lucky because I think from Wednesday onwards it's looking epic.
Okay. All right. So I'll be here. I don't want to miss any of the action, especially when you have 4 contenders in each the men's and women's division. The men's division, we had who you just said, and in the women's division, we're going to see those top 4 contenders in the next 2 heats. The next heat number 2, Ayaka and Isabella. Will Marta Letao be a spoiler? And then in heat number 3, we have Joanna and Alexandra. Will Valentina Diaz be the spoiler in that heat? So
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. We can see an upset right here in round number 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The women's, this women's event has just, been incredible so far. It's just so tight, and they're all so focused as well. I mean, this morning we saw them down here at 6:30 stretching on the beach. Ayaka and Joanna and Isabella was the first here. She was stretching in the dark as soon as we turned up, and the focus. She's there with her coach, and it's surreal to see that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And surreal is this whole area. I mean, how beautiful is Nazare? How epic is the mayor of Nazare? I mean, all these little components that come together here in Praia del Norte has been pretty amazing.
There's Teresa there. Is it?
Yes, that is our rider in blue, Teresa Padrella. And she is trying to get out of that 3rd place position. She needed a 6.21, and I think she needs to get a better wave and go bigger on these rolls. Extend those arms. Make it look like you're getting projected out. And go for those. Obviously, she needs a 6.21. So back to Nazare. I mean, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the end of the heat, and no situation change at the very end. So it was Sari Ohara and Teresa Almeida advancing on into the quarterfinals. And that is the end of the road for Teresa Padrella. So great showing nonetheless. So now, here we go. This is going to be the exciting heat that is going to determine if the title run continues with 4 or do we chop it down to 3. Here we go. Heat number 2, 25-minute heat. Tops 2 waves are scored. 2 riders will advance on into the quarterfinals. But this is going to be interesting. Rider in blue, Marta Letao, she could be the spoiler between Ayaka and Isabella making a charge for a world title.
Yep, and here we go. Ayaka's already up. First wave, first blow. Here she goes.
Oh, my!
Oh, nice big roll there. Little camera action too. And lands that, sticks that. That's good to start this campaign off.
That was epic. So
Nice roll there from Ayaka.
she didn't hold anything back. I mean, these riders are landing in very shallow water, and if you eat it, nosedive, I mean, it could get ugly.
Oh yeah, definitely. We saw it yesterday in the trials. Some of the boys going hard and just getting thumped on that heavy concrete sandbar.
So yeah, I mean, this whole event has been coming together. We're pretty stoked. I mean, I'm digging this whole mobile structure that you can put all the judges and production crew all into one little. How do we get one of those in Australia?
Oh, they actually do have one, but this is a unique one that we use here. This is the only kind of it's a different structure that we have to use for Nazare for Praia del Norte because of the sand, and there's so much sand that you cannot, and because of the swell too, the big swells that come up now, they can take away our structure within, a couple of hours. So it has to be a mobile truck, and the truck expands out, and we put all our technical team and staff and judging in inside that, plus the broadcasting, and we're able to move. It takes us about an hour and a half, breakdown an hour and a half to set it up, but you're able to, shift up and down where the banks are good. Over time, here we go. So Marta taking off there, pulling in the barrel. No opening for her there. So 8.5, Manny.
Oh, they like that. So the judges, they didn't see anything explosive for the past few heats. And so to come out firing with a big, clean, extended roll like that and landing perfectly, Ayaka getting awarded with an 8.5. So, Alex, we got a big meeting coming up, the board meeting and the APB, and I'm excited. Some of the ideas thrown out for 2019, very, very epic ideas, and I hope that comes to fruition.
Yeah, there's definitely a few things we're working on around the tour structure and, involving our regions and our national tours around the world, like the ABA in Australia, the ETB, and there's Martha taking off now. Goes for a roll, lands a roll and pulls that off, so Marta on the board. And Manny, there's, the Chilean tour and the Brazilian tour, so Isabella having a strike.
There we go. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Then, we've got some new events coming on.
Wow. Look at that. Sorry, Alex, but look at the difference right there. You have Marta Letal walking. You have Isabella jamming up the beach. There's the difference right there between a multiple world champion and somebody who's still on the hunt for a world title.
That's right. That just shows the level.
Oh my gosh. All right, sorry, go ahead. 2019.
Yeah, we got some new events happening. I'm actually proud to announce that we will have a new event in Iquique, Chile, next year.
Is that confirmed?
That's confirmed. I've just received some confirmation this week. So.
Oh my goodness.
Looks like we're having a triple crown in Chile next year, Manny. So it's probably the first one that we'll have in the world. And, the contingency of the sport in Chile has just been amazing lately. And you see, all the competitors here that have come over from Chile, and got Alan Munoz on the world title. On the world tour, who's just been, in the top 10, every year for 4 or 5 years in a row. Just incredible. So we've seen the sport grow so much there in Chile, and we're proud to now have another city, Iquique, included into the world tour next year. And then myself and the APB are super proud to work with the crew there, and Shari and Polo working with the government there. We're really stoked to have them support the APB and start and build there in Chile, in Iquique.
I was very fortunate to be a part of the ISA games a few years back, where they invited me to come commentate the bodyboarding championship. But man, it was pretty epic. We have Begonia and her husband have their shop there, and they were the centerpiece of how everybody just is so cool down there, and the town itself is pretty epic. So I'm excited. A 3-stop tour in Chile. Yes, bring it, please.
Yeah, it's amazing. Iquique is sort of the center of bodyboarding there. It's the sort of the city with probably the most bodyboarders. So we're stoked to be able to go there and bring the APB World Tour there for the first time in history.
Ooh-hoo-hoo. All right, check it out. We do have the winner of that first round 3 heat, Sadi Ohara with Vilma. Vilma, where you at, sister? Hold on, we're bringing the mic. Yes. Sorry, everybody. We did a quick little switcheroo during a break, and now just want to make sure that microphone is still working.
1 2 1 2.
All right, are we good? Okay, yeah,
Are we
Vilma,
good?
take it away.
Okay, and I was saying I'm here with the always smiley Sari Ohara, and now she has reason for it. She just went through to another round, and with big scores. How was it out there?
Was kind of like slow hit, and then it was not tough current no more. I think I have normal current, but and then I think offshore breathing now, and then like shapes web shaping more like clearly, and then more like I could see like
opportunity.
Yeah, right. And then I just did something special. I don't know. I just did myself my best.
Thank you so much for that. As usual, please leave a message to Japan.
さっきよりもすごい形が良くなってきていい波になってきてちょっとチューブ決めたかったんですけどもうちょっと練習が必要みたいです。次も頑張ります。多分この後クォーターやると思うんでそのまま見続けてください。Thank you guys watching me or like contest. it was super fun hit and then I was super nervous because those Portuguese girls are always ripping, and then I was a little nervous, but I did. You
did very good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the big show. Okay, back to you, Manny.
All right, so yes, Sadi Ohata with an incredible showing, and yes, Alex is going to be back in here in the hot seat coming down. So here we go. Sadi advances on into the quarterfinals along with Teresa Almeida. But now it is out in the water with a commanding lead with an 8.5 ride. First place, Ayaka Suzuki. Isabella Sosa, another world title contender with a 5 and a 1.5. And Marta Leitao in the blue jersey, up and riding right now. Live action. Here we go.
Yeah, Marta Leitao, bottom turn. Look for that section. Getting a bit foamy in there, isn't it, across the shore break? But pulls the roll off and she's going to improve on that one on her second score. So Isabella now.
Isabella, nice clean wave, but no, it actually just disappeared on the inside. So now's a good time. Checking our Facebook feed for the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. But first, give me a rising or a shower of emoticons. Thumbs up or hearts. Drop them now. At least 5 to 10. I would be stoked on those. But right now, give me the location where you're tuning in from and what time it is, because I know some of you guys are hardcore. So Alex, we got pretty cool things on tap for 2019, and I threw something out on my podcast, a little poll. What are some dream trips, some dream tour stops, and what would it take to get a invitational in the Mentawais with the top 24?
Yeah, I think it's, we've definitely been discussing, special, unique events like that. I can confirm that there is going to be a invitational. Well, basically, we're choosing 10 or so of our top athletes to compete in a wave pool next year.
Oh, wow. The one that's being built down in Australia?
I'm not mentioning where it is or anything like that, or which wave pool, but
okay.
That's definitely another one that we're adding to well, it'll be a specialty event next year, but we hope to add it to the tour by 2020.
Okay, here we go, live action. It is Ayaka Suzuki. Nice roll, lands perfectly. How's that quick little bottom turn to get her back into the zone? Oh, it's still going for a roll on the inside. Holy mackerel, just throwing it all on the line. But how was that? I mean, she was able to just do a quick little boop and then bottom turn and get all that speed and drive back
to the tour by 2020.
Okay, here we go, live action. It is Ayaka Suzuki. Nice roll, lands perfectly. How's that quick little bottom turn to get her back into the zone? And I know mountain bikers do that. I've seen a couple of pro mountain bikers. There's ruts going down the water, down the face of the wave from when it rains. And I've seen them put their back tire in the rut and use that as a bounce. And they do super 90-degree turns easily. I'm wondering if that's something similar that just happened right there on that bottom turn from Ayaka. Taking a look. Marta Leitao. Nope. Pulling back. Isabella Sosa. Here she goes.
Taking it. Here she goes. She's getting a little cover up here.
Oh my, she's coming out. I don't know. She just got held
doubles up there, man. It doubled up and she just got caught. So Ayaka back in the lead. Isabella took over first place then, and then Ayaka with that roll on the last one. She got a 6.25. Now she's back in front.
Oh my. Dion Mayer walked by earlier with an Aussie E-Bowl from the Zula girls at the Zula Village. Has a tent up above here, on the sandbank. And they're just serving up coffee, acai bowl, sandwiches. So Zula, ZULLA.PT. If you come to Nazare, consider hanging out with that crew.
And you can stay there too, can't you? It's a surf village, so it's right above Praia do Norte. So, and they're good sponsors of the event too. And they're owned by local bodyboarders too.
Yes.
With our family. So and Teresa is a partner in that too, Teresa Armada. So get there, support it, and if you come to Nazare, it's a great place to stay. It's epic, good vibes, good little parties.
Yeah. What would happen if they got booked over this week while the tour was in town? Where would all the staff stay, and where would all the riders stay?
On the beach, Manny.
They would get booted. Give us some more tourists to come in, some bodyboarding fans to take over the rooms at Zula. So check it out, Zula, ZULLA.PT. That is a pretty epic spot. They got a pool, upper deck to watch the sunsets. It's pretty amazing.
That's another thing too we're working on, Manny, for the future and next year. You know, trying to work out packages for fans of the APB, of the tour, and then be able to travel and party and experience what an event is like with everyone in town, and, you know, creating that atmospheric party vibe around our events, which you're going to have some involvement in too. And we're shouting, I want to shout out to a lot of people out there that are sticking by the APB over these last few years and have been supporting us.
Yeah, of course.
And we're now in a position where we would like to expand more on our events, and if we can get people writing to us and, you know, asking more about how they can attend packages and go to Grand Slam events and do some activities. I mean, this event's been really cool. We've had Antonio's movie premiere, and we've got the Three Amigos as well coming up in a couple of days, and then we've got our APB end of year awards night on Sunday, which will be pretty epic at Zula, and it's going to be a pretty cool vibe, and we're going to have some music, and it's going to be cool.
No, we've been talking about it for, I guess, the last 2 years, but I think it's time. I think the fans want it. I think if you were to able to get on a plane and not worry about a dime, or just pay this one price package and just get on a plane and come join the APB tour as a fan, I'm sure they'll get VIP to their own little area they can chill out at with the athletes, and just get a lot of behind the scenes special perks if you are a part of that package. So I can't wait. I'd be stoked to be able to show some of the super fans that come on the tour. You know what? Let me know if you guys are into that, and
send us some feedback. And I mean, that's how, you know, we build the tour up, and it's from fans' feedback and the supporters watching. And I mean, this is an epic place to come and visit, and you be able to surf all day up and down the beach, epic peaks. You know, watch the top of the world, go for it, and hang out and party and eat good food and be hosted by one and only Manny V.
Yeah, I mean, it's all here ready to go. And plus, it's not only the bodyboarding and the vibe, but it's also just being a tourist too. There's castles, and there's ginormous churches and monasteries from 1300s that are still here, still like
so much rich history here.
Yes, and that's only here. And then we go into Chile and Itucuchada, where, you know, it's just, there's so much more to offer. So yeah, I totally would keep your eyes on the APB Tour Facebook page and the website. You're gonna hear more details on that once we get that rolling. So quick shout outs to people tuning in all over the world, with 10 minutes remaining in this heat, passed out in the beautiful sun. I don't know who that is, but probably a rider just chilling out. So Craig Benjamin, what's up, brother? Yes, Ayaka is smashing it. Rising Magazine, that is Masahiko Yoshioka's magazine. Check them out. Look for it. Google it. Rising Magazine. It's pretty awesome. He's got bodyboarding magazine and surf magazine. It's pretty amazing. Danielle, what's up, brother? Luke is tuning in. We got Pei Camacho, the Puerto Rican. Saludos, hermano. Jade Charnock saying, yes, the girls are charging right now in these conditions. C.R. Webley wants to know which break in Iquique. We're going to keep that on lockdown for now, just to make sure everything is 110% confirmed. But Pedro tuning in. Kirsty tuning in as well. Free tickets is a start. Well, there you go. If you're able to get free tickets, then get the package and join us on one of our trips. This is Manny. Please tell me if they're going to have women's semifinals today. Great question.
Yeah, we're not sure yet. We're just monitoring the conditions. We would like to do the men's trials final after this. So we'll have to see on the tide, because and the swell decreasing. So we're not sure. I think it's going to be, I guess, just play it by heat, and as we get closer and see if the conditions are worsening with that high tide coming up. I think we're expecting it just before 3 o'clock today.
Again, I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone, but we have the young contingent of Portuguese bodyboarders, the Padrella sisters, Madalena. They're right behind us, and they're just chatting away. They're like super amped.
They came out to Australia and for the
epic.
climber event, and they were so cool, just hanging out, and they loved Australia. Even though the waves were flat, they just had a really good time. It was good to see new faces on tour, you know.
No, it's pretty awesome, and I know a lot of the bodyboarders here in Portugal are, doing their duty, pushing the sport, pushing the riders, the young up-and-comers, and Catarina Sosa is just one of the names that comes to mind. She has a school down in Sintra, I believe, and there's a few other ones that are here as well. So, Catarina Sosa is their trainer. Okay, great. There you go. So, she's doing a good job.
Yeah, she is. And back to this heat, Annie, I think it looks like it's Ayaka taking off now, trying to improve on a 6.5. She's not going to find anything there on that wave. Will it be another Japanese winning a heat?
Yeah, I think Ayaka is looking pretty solid right now, but Isabella is looking solid as well. I mean, she's pretty unstoppable right now, and if she keeps it on track with this consistency, she may very well walk away with the first ever Japanese APB world title to ever set foot in the island of Japan.
That's right. I think it's, right now, Ayaka and Isabella, obviously, Ayaka stands the strongest chance, but Isabella's right on her toes. And, Isabella missed the event in Chile this year, but she went to Kiama in Australia and took it out, beating Ayaka in the final, which has brought us to this moment now where this title contingency is in play, and Joanna's been consistent in all three prior events. She's up there, and the same with Alexandra, and it seems that it's these four plus Sari that are just staying in that top 5 every year. And I think we're seeing a change in the guard where we didn't get to see Neymar or Lily come out to Portugal this year due to work commitments and things like that. But right now it's going to be Ayaka, Isabella, Joanna and Alexandra all fighting for that title.
I mean, it's going to come down to this week we're going to find out who is our 2018 men's world title champion and also the women's world champion, and that's going to happen. An upset could happen right now. Who knows that Marta can come back firing with some big scores and knock one of them out. So, I mean, anything could happen within the next 5 minutes and 20 seconds and also in the next heat.
Yeah, that's right. So it looks like Marta needs a 6:01 to get. I'm just trying to read. The sun's all over my. Yeah, so Marta needs a 6 to advance right now. So that's definitely doable in these conditions. We saw Ayaka with an 8 straight away. Here we go. Marta, what can she do?
In and out. It's just starting to pull away from her. I think I hear the beep is for the 5-minute mark. So 5 minutes remaining left in this heat. And it's coming down to the wire right now for Marta. If she cannot come up with some big scores, she will get knocked out of the event, which will keep Ayaka and Isabella still on the hunt. Here's Marta looking for another roll maneuver right there, but just gets rattled on the inside and rolled on the shallows. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Just was swiping her off her feet. But a ton of power here. The forecast and Isabella still on the hunt. Here's Marta looking for another roll maneuver right there, but just gets rattled on the inside. Out in the water. Heat 3 and 4 will follow in round number 3. And then we will finish off the trials with the trials final. I believe that will be a 30-minute final or 25-minute final. And then we will finish off that heat, and then we will find out whether we go on into the quarterfinals of the women's. There's got to be a lot of thought put into it. We can't just say let's go, because each one of those heats in the quarterfinals is 25 minutes long, so you're looking at almost 2 hours that the ocean can change. Oh, in and out. Isabella Sosa, not much there.
Yeah, that's right. And this morning there was that really strong current, that really strong rip. I mean, it's still there now, but it was really strong in that first round this morning, and the girls were buggered after that round one. And well, I mean, we saw the trialists yesterday. They were just absolutely stuffed. It's like they ran a triathlon yesterday.
Yes.
You know, so we do take that into account as well. But, you know, to be the best, you got to be the best. So you got to be fit, you got to be ready. And God help us if this swells 10 foot in a few days at Nazare, because we have to run.
Oh, my gosh. You have to, because the forecast for the weekend is rain, storm, not fun.
And way too big, 30 foot. So it looks like we're going to be up for some pretty epic conditions. Just hope it isn't, you know, that too big of a size where it's not handling, but the swell direction's a bit more west, so the canyon's going to be working. It's going to be hitting the canyon, so we're not going to see just these right-handers down the sandbar. We're going to see multiple peaks all out in front.
Oh, my goodness.
And I spoke to Antonio yesterday afternoon, and, you know, he's a local here, and he said, hey, the forecast looks pretty bloody epic. So when you hear it from, you know, a local like that, you kind of get a little excited. I mean, I never try and get too excited, but
yeah,
it's good, you know, we're in that position leading into this crowning of two champions.
And you never know, Mother Nature, she can always just flip the switch whenever she wants. So, but I mean, the forecast models, they're saying epic, and we're stoked. We hope that comes through, because that's what you want when there's 2 world titles up for grabs. So if you can have big epic conditions to finish off the tour, yes, bring it.
Yeah, like, I mean, leading into the Australian Grand Slam, we had forecast was looking really, really good. And then all of a sudden, these high-pressure systems came over across Australia, in the middle of Australia, and just had all these westerlies blow. Here we go. Marta Tau, she's right on the shore. There's not much happening. It is coming up pretty quick now. But, yeah, you know, and we ended up seeing 3.5 weeks of westerly winds, a hot westerly wind that flattened the ocean and pushed all the low-pressure systems down past Tasmania and out into the Tasman Sea. And we were left with absolute flatness, you know, not a wave over 2 foot in 3 years. It's never happened before in the middle of winter. So, you know, the world's doing some crazy things recently, and that's what we've got to always keep. We saw what happened in Cintra Viana with the fog. Here we go, Ayaka.
Oh, going for a roll under the lip, but of course not even coming close to pulling that off. Yeah, but yeah, Mother Nature's pretty upset with us right now, just doing some things that out of the norm. And you know, there's such
things like what happening in Indonesia with earthquakes and tsunamis, and yeah, it sucks too when it you know, it sucks for it to happen anywhere in the world, but especially like, you know, friends and families of the surfing fraternity that, you know, suffer from these horrific, you know, things that happen from Mother Nature. And, you know, our prayers and thoughts go out to those sort of families out there that are struggling and suffer from these severe things. Here we go, Isabella.
Oh, big roll, then lands straight onto the sand. She's got to be careful. I mean, you don't want to get hurt if you advance on. You need to keep full fit to be able to move and, you know, just compete in the next rounds. But
these severe things. Here we go, Isabella.
Oh, big roll, then lands straight onto the sand. She's got to be careful. The quarterfinals.
Yep, and coming up in the next one, Joanna Schenker, Alexander Rinda, and Valentina Diaz.
Oh, my goodness. So, yes, Nunito back in the hot seat. Alex, thanks for hanging in here, brother.
No worries. Thank you, Manny. Thank you to the APB supporters and spectators out there. And it is from the bottom of my heart, so appreciative that you're tuning in. And hopefully we can deliver an amazing finish to the World Tour this year for you all.
Epic. All right. Yeah, I second that. So if you're been watching the live feeds throughout the year and been a supporter of the APB, hands down, thank you very much for everything. Nunito, what's going down, brother?
Not much. Catching sun and watching the offshore breeze just gently touching the waves as we see the girls battling it out, see who's gonna advance. And we got a very interesting heats on our ends, and this one is interesting as well because we have the reigning world champion competing, and she's still fighting for a world title. So man, it's just a wonderful day number 2 here at the Nazare Pro 2018, and I just can't wait for the swell to get here tomorrow. And then, wow, we're gonna start to
Oh my
rub our
goodness.
hands because it's gonna be woohoo already today. Look at it.
Yeah.
Just like a perfect showcase of bodyboarding, especially for the girls. You know, the waves are 3 foot high, offshore breeze, and smooth sailing. We call it.
Yeah, no, I mean we got some. Look at Chico in the foreground. That is Joanna Schenker's longtime boyfriend and coach, and man, he is a legend himself. He comes from down south in Sagres, born and raised, and he's one of those guys that grew up one of those mean bodyboarders, locals, and now he is so much mellower and understands that he's got a world champion as a girlfriend, and can he and she make it 2 in a row?
Wow, that would be amazing. Especially if both of them, they've been fighting for this for a long time. And last year, Joanna finally did clinch to that world title.
Amazing.
And it was a great show here at Nazare. And coincidentally, it happened here in Portugal. So the media was buzzing. Like national TV got coverage, and after that, Joanna's got a sweet ride in her career, not only as a professional bodyboarding, but as well as a professional model. And the brands and all of the media just soaked that in, and Joanna did a great job representing bodyboarding in Portugal as a world champion.
Yeah, and she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's pretty grounded, and it's pretty awesome on how she's taking advantage of the opportunities to do the things that she believes in. So shout out to Joanna for winning and having a good time as a world champion, bodyboarding world champion in the women's division this past year. But now we're coming down to the wire. Can she make it back to back? She's got to face off with 3 other contenders: Ayaka Suzuki, Isabella Sosa, and Alexandra Rinder. So in this situation right now, Nunito, heat number 3, we have Valentina Diaz, who can be the spoiler for Joanna and or Alexandra Rinder. So it's not over yet. They still have to move forward and get closer to the final.
And they should watch out for Valentina, because she did a last second change on her last heat, round number 2, and she was kind of a surprise, not by advancing of course, but by advancing in the last seconds and kicking out Maria Guta Borges in the last minute. And there she is in heat number 3 of this round number 3 of the Pro Women's Division. And it was funny to see on heat number 2 both of the riders, Ayaka Suzuki and Isabella Souza, world title contenders, battling out and advancing. And right now at the moment we've got the 2 last world title contenders in this heat number 3, which is Joanna Souza and Alexander Rinder. And like you mentioned, is Valentina Diaz going to be the spoiler? Meanwhile, up and running, there was Joanna Schenker with that smooth, stylish roll that world title last year. And she's applying that on the score of the last wave. The rider in red, that is Joanna Schenker. And in yellow, we are looking at Alexander Rinder representing Canary Islands. And in blue, Valentina Diaz. So it looks like we have an interview, Manny.
I think we are ready for the interview. Right now we have the winner of the last heat, that is Ayaka Suzuki, with Vilma. Vilma, where are you at, sister?
Hi, buddy. So yeah, the girls are ripping. Congratulations. No major upset so far. So still the 4 contenders for the world title. How do you feel? You feel released? Mission accomplished? One more heat?
See just in front of me, so I gotta do just right now. I don't see like the so far away. I just try to my best, and I try to show you guys my bodyboard. And the girls' bodyboard level is so high right now, but I want like more girls join to the comp, please.
This year we have more young girls coming in, so thank you so much for being an inspiration to all the girls as well. And to Japan, what do you have to say?
Okay, thank you so much for watching. 応援ありがとうございます。次はクォーターファイナルです。頑張ります。
Back to you. Take it away.
All right, I don't know, Vilma, do you still have, yes, can you ask, what is Max and Alex? What's
Yeah. Next question. This is the one of the wine shop in Japan, and they support me. And the boss is a bodyboarder too. What? That why like he love volleyball and he support me and a couple rider in Japan and the best wine you can drink in Japan.
Max and Alex. All right. What's his name?
Max and Alex.
Oh,
The
of
shop.
course.
The name of the boss is Sakurai-san です。いつもありがとうございます。
Oh man. Okay. Well, we know where we're going when we go to Japan.
That is correct.
Drink wine.
Yes. All right. Arigato.
ありがと
Thanks
う。
for Max and Alex for supporting Yaka Suzuki
Yes.
on her quest of becoming the first Japanese, possibly the first Japanese world champion in the world, either men or women.
No, it's one of those things that is gonna. This is a historical event. I mean, a lot of things could happen here. We can see the first ever back-to-back Portuguese women's champion. We can see
Wow.
the first ever Japanese world title being brought back home. Isabella could make it, another tick on her world
Fifth
title.
time.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of things are in hand right here. But look at this. Nice clean bottom turn. You can see how fast she was going. Hair is flying. Alexandra Rinder. It's so cool that once you start looking at everybody's style, you can, without even looking at world
Fifth
titles.
time.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of things are in hand right here. But look at this. Nice clean bottom turn. You can see how fast she was going. Hair is flying. Alexandra Rinder.
And your brain is telling you that rider is just through the style. The rider could be wearing any kind of singlet color and you would recognize it by style. Definitely there was the textbook Alexander Rayner going for a roll of her own and jumping into first place position with that last wave effort of a 6.75. She is backing that with a 5-point wave. So currently Alexander Rayner in the lead and Joanna Schenker on the strength of a 6.25 with that first wave is currently in second place still. Trying to find her first wave is Valentina Diaz holding on to last seat, heat number 2. We saw Ayaka Suzuki face off Isabella Souza and she beat Isabella Souza. Is this a pronounced about to happen in the finals days, the finals? Because this is like they're already battling each other. They're not saving it for the last day. It's like we're gonna see them face off only on the last day. They're facing each other already in round number 3, and this is so important with the level of anxiety and what must go through their minds, man.
I don't know. I've never been in that position. I think that the highest placing I got on like the world stage was 9th place at Pipeline quarterfinals.
Wow.
Yeah. So but once they get to that point, once they cross that imaginary line of becoming a world champion, now it's all about being consistent on that. Here we go. Joanna Schenker, 2017 world champion, clean roll and cannot hold on to that. She's got a 6.25. And that's all she wrote for now, but ton of time. These 25-minute heats, top 2 waves are scored. 2 riders advance on into the quarterfinals, and 1 rider out of the 3 will call it the end of the road and finish off the event in an equal 9th place with 2,000 points and some cash money to put in the bank account.
Ooh, that's great. And so none of these riders want to be knocked out on this round for sure. But meanwhile, we have Joanna Schenker and Alexander Rinder still fighting for a world title on this one, and they're going to do what they can to get on the above positions in this heat and try and advance, of course, to keep their world titles hope alive. The next week we'll see an all-Portuguese affair with Mariana Rosa, Madalena Padrella, and Madalena Valerio. So a lot of Portuguese riders here in the women's division. And coming into the third round, we had a representation of 1, 2, 6, 7 Portuguese riders within the possible 12. So 7 out of 12 were Portuguese. So we lost already Teresa Padrella, of course. We lost already Marta Leitão, sorry. And so still 5 Portuguese on this.
Wow,
on this
look at
event.
this, down the beach in blue. Got under the lip, was able to tuck in right there. That is Valentina Diaz. She's going to ride through that thing and holds on steady. Again, she just comes back. She came back from Porto Escondido, and she was one of those. She just had an epic session. Super big waves, paddle out there, and here we go. This is, yes, Alexander Rinder pulling into a closeout on the inside shore break. Now you can see why the head judge, organizers, they're going to sit down and take another look and say, hey, do we keep running or do we put the event on hold and wait for the better days where it's going to be better? Or do we go on and continue on with more heats in the conditions that are pretty questionable?
Yeah, definitely. The wave height has dropped a little bit since yesterday, as you can see on your screen, but still contestable conditions. The mostly right-handers, as you can see throughout the day, but yeah, that's what's on offer, and riders have been making the best out of it, and we've seen some really great scores. We already know what's the final of the trials going to be. We've got Dave Herbert, and we've got as well Sammy Morentino.